Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. All right, so I've just spawned into a brand new world here, and it is very snowy. First things first, got to get some wood, get a crafting bench down, and start surviving. This is going to be a long-term project, building a proper base out here in the snow. And while I get started on that, I found some absolutely wild Reddit stories to read. We've got workplace drama, family feuds, and one of the most satisfying updates I've ever seen. So let's get a fire going and judge some strangers. Let's get into it. Okay, first up. This one is from r/am I the asshole, and it feels painfully real for anyone who's ever worked an office job. The title is, "My boss found my anonymous feedback survey and is now making my life hell." Oof. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Let's read it. So, my company does these yearly anonymous feedback surveys. They always say it's a safe space to be honest so they can improve. I've been with the company for 3 years, and my direct manager, let's call him Mark, has some major issues. He's a nice guy, but he plays favorites, is terrible at communicating project deadlines, and often takes credit for his team's ideas. In the survey, I gave specific, professional, but critical feedback about this. I didn't use harsh language, I just gave examples, like communication on Project X could be improved by setting clear timelines in advance. Stuff like that. Okay, so far so good. This is what you're supposed to do, right? You give constructive criticism so things can get better. The poster isn't being a jerk, they're being a good employee. But we all know where this is going thanks to that title. A week later, things started getting weird. Mark started assigning me all the worst, most tedious tasks. I was left out of an important project meeting that directly involved my work. When I asked him about it, he just said, "Oh, it slipped my mind." He started scrutinizing every single thing I did, questioning my methods on tasks I'd been doing for years. Yesterday was the final straw. He made a comment in a team meeting about how some people don't appreciate a collaborative environment while looking directly at me. And there it is, the petty tyrant boss. This is just infuriating. The violation of that anonymous trust is one thing, but then to launch a passive-aggressive retaliation campaign? That's just awful. It's such a weak move from someone in a position of power. It's clear he knows it was me. I don't know how, but he does. Now I'm miserable at a job I used to actually like. I feel like I have two choices: go to HR and risk being labeled a problem employee, or just quit. I don't want to quit, but the stress is getting unbearable. AITA for writing the feedback in the first place, or for considering going to HR. Absolutely not the asshole. Not even close. The company asked for feedback. You gave it professionally. The boss is the one creating a toxic environment. I mean, what do you even do here? Going to HR feels like painting an even bigger target on your back sometimes. But just quitting feels like letting him win. I think I'd start documenting everything. Every single passive-aggressive comment, every missed meeting, create a paper trail. Then I'd start looking for another job immediately. And maybe, just maybe, drop that documentation bomb with HR on my way out the door. What would you guys do? Let me know in the comments. That's just a terrible spot to be in. All right, let's take a break from the rage-inducing stuff and read something a little lighter. I found this one on r/TIFU, and it made me physically cringe in the best way. The title is, "TIFU'd by trying to be a cool mom and accidentally airdropping a mortifying photo to an entire school bus." My 12-year-old son, Leo, was coming home from a school field trip today. I was waiting in the car at the pickup spot. To be funny, I decided I would airdrop him a silly photo I have of him as a toddler, sitting in the bathtub covered in bubbles, making a ridiculous face. I opened my photos, hit share, and saw Leo's iPhone pop up. I selected it, hit send, and chuckled to myself thinking I was so clever. A moment later, I could hear a wave of laughter coming from inside the bus. Not just one or two kids, but like a lot of them. I got a little confused. Then the bus door opened, and Leo walked out. His face was the color of a tomato. He got in the car, slammed the door, and just stared straight ahead. I asked him what was wrong. He said, through gritted teeth, "Mom, you didn't just send it to me. You sent it to everyone." It turns out my airdrop was set to everyone, and about 15 kids on that bus accepted the photo of baby Leo in the tub. TIFU'd. Oh, no. The whole bus. You can't recover from that as a 13-year-old. Your social life is just over. That is peak secondhand embarrassment. I feel so bad for that kid, but man, that is hilarious. You know that mom is never, ever gonna live that one down. Poor Leo. Okay, back to the drama. And folks, this next one is the main event. This is our anchor story for today. It's got family drama, it's got money, it's got a power-tripping mother-in-law, and most importantly, it has an incredible update. Buckle up. The title is, "My boyfriend's family held an intervention for him because he wanted to propose to me." My boyfriend, Alex, 29 male, and I, 28 female, have been together for 5 years. We have a wonderful, loving relationship, and I know he's the one. He told me a few weeks ago that a proposal was coming soon. I was over the moon. Here's the context. Alex's family is very wealthy, like old money, country club, multiple houses wealthy. My family is solidly middle class. We're comfortable, but it's a different world. His family has always been polite to me, but in a very cold, distant way. He's been distant ever since. I'm devastated. Our perfect relationship feels like it's crumbling because of his toxic family, and I don't know if we can survive this. And this is the heartbreaking part, because the poison is working. He's a good guy, but he's been conditioned by this family his whole life, and now he's doubting everything. At this point in the story, I'm genuinely worried for them. It feels like the family is going to win. But, like I promised, there is an update, and it is so good. Here's the update posted a week later. Update. Thank you all for your support. After 2 days of being distant and me giving him space, Alex sat me down last night. He apologized profusely for letting his family's words affect him. He said that those 2 days without me feeling like us were worse than any argument his family could ever make. He said he realized that his family's love was conditional, but mine wasn't. Then he got down on one knee, pulled out the most beautiful ring I've ever seen, and asked me to marry him. I said yes, obviously, and cried my eyes out. But that's not all. The next day, he called another family meeting, but this time on his terms. He walked in with me on his arm, announced our engagement, and laid down the law. He told them that I am his future, his priority, and his chosen family. He said that they had 2 choices. They could apologize to me sincerely and treat me with love and respect from now on, or they would not be invited to the wedding and would have a very limited role in his life and the lives of our future children. His mother started to cry, her sister looked furious, but Alex didn't back down. He said, "The choice is yours. We are now happily planning our wedding, and it feels like we can take on the world together." Yes, that is what you want to see. He found his spine, he defended his partner, and he put the toxic family in their place. He chose his real family. That takes so much courage. This is the best possible outcome. They faced the fire together and came out stronger, and his family got the reality check they desperately needed. You just love to see it. What a fantastic story. All right, we've got time for one more, and this one also features a meddling mother-in-law and has a fantastic zinger at the end. The title is, "Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law that if she's so concerned about her son's diet, she should have taught him how to cook?" My 30 female, husband 32 male, is a great guy, but he is completely useless in the kitchen. He can make toast. That's it. I do all the cooking. I don't mind most of the time. I enjoy it. His mother, however, seems to think I'm slowly poisoning him. Every time she visits, she makes comments. "Oh, are you using white pasta? So many carbs." Or, "That's a lot of butter, dear. You know your husband's cholesterol." It's constant. Last Sunday, she was over for dinner. I made a roast chicken. She took one look at it and said, "It looks a little dry. A man needs a moist, nourishing meal after a long week." I had just had enough. I put down my fork, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "Well, if you're so concerned about his diet, maybe you should have taught your son how to cook something other than a piece of toast." Mic drop. Just absolutely perfect. I mean, she's not wrong, is she? If you raise a grown man who can't even boil water, you do not get to criticize the person who is feeding him every single day. The sheer audacity. 100% not the asshole. That is an all-time great comeback. Okay, and I think that's a good place to stop for today. Some truly wild situations there. Thanks again for hanging out and listening to these stories with me. If you made it this far, you're a real one, and I appreciate you. Consider subscribing if you want to see more of this. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.